Hello, hello. Whoa, we're on. All right. Usually I record these videos when I'm coming off work, and I kind of get inspired because sometimes I listen to podcasts, various things, not only political, not only religious, or spiritual, and not sometimes sports, sometimes all sorts of stuff. That it's very interesting to kind of in life. You got to be open to understanding different points of view, different people with different disciplines of life, if I may call them like that. So I stay open, and I always listen to a lot of different people's stories. I don't have my I don't really have my favorites. I guess I'm just kind of like all over the place. I like to kind of hear, sometimes somebody who has nothing to do with what I usually am about, which is spirituality, in general. And sometimes very surprised. It's very, some people's stories are very touching and are very something that most people who are very specific. I listen to only this kind of stuff. This is the only thing that interests me. Or if it's if it's too secular, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear it. I'm religious, so if it's not about my religion and about closeness to the Creator, then I don't care about it. I don't want to spend my time watching or listening to some knucklehead, because what does he or she know about life? What could they possibly bring to my life? But you know what? I don't know. I guess I never thought like that. That's why in my entire life I hung out with a variety of people, from criminals to really nice people to I'm not ashamed to admit it, because it's not a big deal. It's life. It's not like I intentionally picked either this kind of person or that kind of person to hang out with or meet in life or bump into them. Life happens. It's life is full of surprises. Life is full of just everything across the whole spectrum of what actually life is. And you can't, if you limit yourself to only certain things, you'll be missing out on a lot of understanding about life. A lot. And this is, it's not only religious people. I'm not attacking you, okay? Right now, in this current moment, this is not an attack. You may perceive it that way, or you may, be either even offended by it. And honestly, I'm not concerned with that, because as I would say, you can be religious about just about anything. Okay, so let me put you in that category of being religious, whether that be Creator, or that be sports, and not maybe just any sports, but like one particular type of sport, or shopping for this or for that. You can be religious about a lot of different things. So gotta pay attention to the traffic. Like I always say, people do weird stuff on the road nowadays. They used to, but nowadays it's even more dangerous, since there's more people involved on the roads and more distracting devices involved in our daily routines. Anyways, to get back to the topic, you can be religious just about anything, which means when you're religious, you usually are blind to everything else but the thing you follow, the thing you admire, the thing you're fully engaged into. And that's what I mean. Whatever field you choose to belong to, or to be dedicated or devoted to, you will miss the rest of the spectrum. I'm not saying it's terrible, because at the end of the day, you can't focus on life in its entirety all the time. I get it. It takes a lot of energy, and I don't know, the focus is sort of like all over the place. But because the way that life is built now, maybe not only now, but I don't know, I'm seeing it more now that if you don't focus on only one thing, it's extremely hard for you to be successful. Very, very hard. Because there's so many people specialized in their field. So if you are given only 95% to something, and somebody's given 100, or like we like to say 110, that's a paradox, but anyways, let's say 110, right? I mean, that person, all right, given a talent, the sense, the understanding, the knowing, having that as a predisposition, having two people like that, and one is giving 95 and one is giving 110 or 100. Obviously, that person 100%. When it comes down to the ability itself, not luck, or I would say circumstantial, factors, then yes, that person will be able to produce a better, more wholesome result. But if you are like that, that's great for the time being while you are, dealing with it and trying to be successful in a certain field. Now, but in general, in understanding the totality of yourself, which will, at the end of all, determine how successful you are in life. Sorry. They say sneezing, it's not so much about the bacteria, but it's releasing the pressure from your heart. Would you believe that? There's something more than just a biological thing. It has to do with pressure that is on your chest. Sometimes the things that worry you, or that make you worried, the things that the concerning things in life, build up that pressure. And when you sneeze, you release a lot of it. That's why they say, apparently, science says that if you sneeze 8 times, it equals 1 full orgasm. The same biological, biochemical reaction happens. All right, to get back on track. So you won't be missing a whole lot of understanding the spectrum, which will determine how successful you are in life. Because you can be successful in one field, but that does not mean that you are in any way possible successful at life. All right. So to be successful at life is basically being able to manage and handle any situation, any circumstance you come across in life, regardless whether that be that field where you're trained in specifically or not. That's what it boils down to. Not like, whoa, well, you gotta be successful, you gotta know life if you can make, I don't know, $20 million and live that life that is full of pressure, by the way, and responsibilities, duties, to all sorts of parties involved. Yeah, to some extent. But what's outside of that is life. Because life happens across the entire spectrum. It doesn't wait for you to to train yourself and say, well, I can handle this situation, but let me figure it out this next one. I'm not there yet, but so it don't matter. Life will give me a break, and then I'll get to it when I'm ready. That's not gonna happen. Life happens every day, at every moment, any moment, and anything can happen to anybody. Don't ever delude yourself that you're safe from everything, or that you're safe from certain things. You're never safe from anything. That's life. That's what life is about. Accepting this roller coaster, being in it, be full of it and embracing it, no matter what comes your way. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, sometimes it's extremely hard, very very hard to stay sober, to say, to have that outlook on life, to stay calm, even when you get angry, even when you get enraged, you get really pissed off, really aggressive for a moment. How to come back to calm down without causing damage and hurt in the process. All right, how to express that without actually hurting somebody, or yourself. Well, you always hurt yourself. If everybody understood that, then they would never try to hurt anybody else. So, what I see, I share these things, these thoughts with you because I really am hoping, and I'm not only hoping, I'm 100% sure that some of you find something in this, and that's totally fine. Like I said many times before, I'm not into numbers. I'm not trying to gather a huge following. I don't care about that. If only one of you, something clicks within you, and you got it, damn, that's so much work done. Because that's a butterfly effect across the entire spectrum of life, across all life. So that's what I'm about. So that's why I share this with you. So sometimes, you can say I'm whiny, complaining, ranting, it won't change the fact that how things stand in life. It doesn't matter what you say or how you see these. It really doesn't matter. I see as the main problem in life, in our society, current society. I can't talk for societies or civilizations before this one, because it's pointless, it's done, it's over. But what I mean is, our society is the lack of integrity is the downfall. And now you may feel offended if you're religious. I find many of you who are religious, or I would say pretty much all of you, hypocritical. All right, I said it. Okay, we're all hypocritical to a point, to an extent. But I mean, look, listen. When your life revolves around a written set of rules in a book, written by men. Let's face it. The man you haven't met in person, the man you have never known in any such personal way, never witnessed their existence, never witnessed their battles, their victories, their losses. You're being hypocrites, because the compass, the moral and ethical compass, should never be another man. Should never be an inspiration that some man claim comes from this creator that they have a special connection with. That's why when I tell you that I have a special connection with the creator, is I tell you it's through discipline and it's through love for life, right? And I always tell you, question what I tell you. Always tell you to practice, to actually do it on your own. I only demonstrate and I speak about these things, but you have to go out there and test them. You do. Because look, my words can sound appealing, and the things that I tell you, you may be impressed and be like, wow, this guy's so smart, this guy's so wise, and it's really worth listening to him and doing what he wants or what he says is good to do. Now, I'm okay with that, to the point where you at least try. these things. You at least attempt to go that way. However, I don't delude myself that because I tell you that and you do it, you practice it, that you are now, 100% saving yourself from yourself. Because it doesn't happen like that. Not because I tell you something. Not because it sounds impressive with the way I say it or the way I relay it to you. That's never the case. When you truly save yourself from yourself is when you start making your own steps. You may start with me motivating you and impressing you even, pressing that into you, but you won't stay there until you fall in love with it yourself, until you find that within you that you know is capable of just about anything and is almighty within yourself. If only, listen to this, if only you disregard anything you've ever been taught, you walk away from it and follow only that within. That is the only time, I'm telling you, that is the only time when you will be able to save yourself, from your own power. Not because somebody tells you, not because somebody says how to do it. No, that's a stepping stone to it. But if you don't take that next step, which is test it for yourself, see how it works for yourself, and stick with it, it's like people who don't have enough discipline, they go and say, I tried it, but it doesn't work. Okay, you tried it. What does that mean? So you did a few things and then it didn't work, and you're like, that's crap. It's just not my thing. Really. Like, well, how creative did you get with what you were given? Some kind of key, some kind of tool to start. How much more have you done and built upon that yourself? Because look, there's so many stories of success, right? And you can follow all of them, and you can try each one of them, but there's no guarantee that any of those stories will apply to your life and make you successful in the field that you want to be successful, or the paths that you basically copy paste. It doesn't work. Even though people say, I have this recipe, it's going to work for everybody. There's a bunch of commercials and ads all over the internet. You want to do this in these many days, or you want to be rich in this, or you want to have or you want to get a beautiful woman in just, 90 hours, or, stupid stuff like that. There is no such thing, guys. There is no such thing. All these things that you achieve through those steps are temporary. And I can go bet with anybody that wants to, and I will never lose, because even if somebody did succeed and they're holding their success and they are prolonging that initial jump start, it's only, listen to that, it's only because they built upon that path, not because they did only and exactly what somebody else did before them. Never works like that. Remember that. It's hard work. Life in general, it's hard work. And we are in this era where, like it or not, we are at the very bottom of awareness of this totality I talk about often. At the very bottom, because it was meant to be that way. It was meant to be, this whole reality is nothing but a big test, a big trial. So there's really nobody else to blame but yourself if you get caught up in some kind of nonsense within it. It's full of traps. Just know that. It's like walking through woods and seeing a sign that says traps and hidden passages ahead, and you know, blow caution to the wind, like whatever, and then you step in the trap, you get into a hidden passage, you get lost. You know, it's like a bunch of stuff like that. It's waiting for you in life, in this reality. And don't blame anybody else saying like, "Oh, I didn't know they put it there," or like, "Oh, it's their fault because they put it there." You know, "Oh, I didn't see it." It's like, it doesn't matter. That does not matter. Any of those excuses are not working, and you can tell just by living life that you can clearly see it's very rough. It's very merciless. You know, people nowadays, because they don't have enough integrity, they fall quickly for a lot of things in life. You know, I mean, the main thing they fall for, obviously, it's fear. And out of fear, everything else ugly. Everything ugly comes out. Anything that's ugly. Anything that's ugly, wicked, evil, that's basically everything in one word is fear. Because fear is the biggest enemy to yourself. You know, fearing your own power, which is basically very justifiable in a way, because look, listen, I mean, in life, whether you like it or not, and whether you admit it or not, deep down within you, you are, you do know that you have this power, this immense power within you to change things, to affect things, to affect life in general, to turn life against yourself, or you know, to your benefit. That sounds selfish, but I don't mean it like that. I mean, you know, if you understand what understanding totality of life means of yourself, then you understand that when you turn life to your benefit, it means your benefit, not your person's benefit, but your benefit. So everything that's you, everything that's life, around you, anywhere within you, outside of you, it's you. It's your consciousness going around. It's not like somebody else's consciousness and then yours also. That's not how it works. You're plugged into this circuit, and you are the circuit, and you are what's going around within that circuit. So you are that within and that without, or basically, more or less, there's nothing without. There's no nothing outside. Okay, the outside does not exist. There's no outside, because you would have to have two. You would basically have to have two creations, two creators. Okay, one creating something on the outside and one creating something on the inside. Because one creating outside and inside really doesn't make much sense. If you just got to be deep enough to understand what that actually means. What I'm saying right now. Yeah, and then you will. You may be able to get the point why this seems simple, but it's actually really complex. So that's it for today. So the lack of integrity in life, causes people to descend to these wicked, evil, corrupt levels where they plot on each other, where they are cruel to life. Many times maybe not many times, but like whenever I bring that up, I'm attacked by other people. When I say that I'm vegan and that people should be vegan, vegan does not necessarily, listen, when you think like, he wants me to be vegan, I don't want to go to the store and buy all those soy products and all those, like, I don't know what else, processed foods and all that. Hey, nobody's telling you have to go and do that. Really, nobody. That's your choice. That's basically luxury in our society, because we have all these machines, we have all this technology to produce this food that tastes good, that it's appealing to the taste buds, that it's appealing to the eyes, that causes nice sensations. I mean, because a lot of the food we consume exactly for that, not because we need it. Be honest. There's a lot of food that you eat that you don't have to eat. You eat it just because you can, because it's available, but you could easily survive without it. So, and in that manner, I'm being sometimes attacked like, oh, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go to the stores and buy this kind of stuff that's crap, I'd rather be, natural foods. It's funny, listen, most of vegan stuff, you know what that is? It's plant-based. Most plant-based foods are natural, are from nature. There's more plants than the animals that you eat every day. There's hundreds of plants, and only about 5 to about 10 animals that our entire world eats. Now think about that. Huh? And you're gonna bring up an excuse that you don't want to be vegan because you don't want to eat the processed, fake foods. That's funny, really. I mean, it's not like I don't eat those foods. I do, like I said, because I can, because they're available, and I think it's great that they're available. Why not? We have this technology. We don't need to be like cavemen and going around with sticks, beating animals down and killing them and skinning them and stuff like that, and butchering them and slaughtering, cutting them apart and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. That's a caveman mentality. The technology, it's like you also don't walk to places. You're in a car. So stop pretending you're I'm so into nature, I'm so natural. No, you're not. Most of you wear shoes, which is totally in conflict with anything natural. Most of you drive cars, which is totally in conflict with anything natural. It's all robotic. There's nothing to do with natural life. Most of us are on the bikes. Nothing natural. I mean, you can't find a bicycle in nature, regardless of how green it is, how sustainable. It doesn't grow on trees. A company, technologically advanced company, and engineers have to produce it. They have to dig precious minerals from the ground up in order to make those materials, to put it together. Some are more sustainable, some are less sustainable, but regardless, they have to be extracted from nature. So don't pretend you're so natural, because that's BS. Okay, that doesn't work like that. So let's not be full of ourselves, thinking like, I'm better than that one because I'm being so natural and so raw, and this guy eats processed foods and soy. Even though I don't actually eat soy, by the way, I eat so little soy. You meat eaters, most of you eat way more soy than me. I don't like soy per se, but soy is in a lot of foods, just like it is garlic. Garlic is in a lot of foods. I hate garlic, and I have to always either make my own stuff at home, like hummus. It's very hard to get hummus without all the nasty garlic in it, a ton of it. Any kind of stuff that is processed, there's always garlic in it. Blech. Can't stand it. And by the way, some people are allergic to garlic. I'm one of them. Doesn't mean I die when I eat it, but it doesn't do me any good. It causes congestion in my sinuses. It causes, just a lot of thirst. I can't quench my thirst after eating garlic. It's horrible. I can drink water and all sorts of juices, and my tongue is just dry. That's one thing. I have a lot of farts after that most of the time, so it's horrible. So, anyways, and then I hear all this stuff like, this is like, it's so gay to be vegan. It's so gay. Guys, in life, most people who speak like that are nothing but bullies, okay? They're so rigid in their ways that they're never, willing to try something different, something that is more nicer and kinder to the life around them. They don't want to do that because they want to have that dominion, that it's written in books. That's why I say religious people are very, very hypocritical in many ways. Because listen, if you cannot listen to your heart, I don't eat vegan because I want to help, you know, cut down global warming or some stupid stuff like that. I eat it because I'm compassionate. I don't want animals to suffer for me. I don't want them to be slaughtered. I don't want them to live in fear. I don't want them to be exposed and subjected to, you know, maltreatment and cruelty, violating their joy for life. It's horrible. It's a crime against life. You take it however you want to take it, but that's the truth. And so yeah, for the matters of my heart, my soul, I do not consume them anymore for a few years now. Decided to walk away from it. I don't even buy leather. You know, this car is the last car that I bought that has leather seats. Unfortunately, at the time, didn't really have that much choice for various factors, and it was already an old car when I bought it, which sort of doesn't matter anymore because car manufacturers don't care about old cars. They don't base their production based on some sales of secondhand cars of their own. They don't even track that. Car manufacturer industry is so cruel and so fast. All they care about is this right now and the year ahead. Nothing else. If the year ahead is selling, they will be producing that kind of stuff because they see that people are buying it. If it's some used car lot that sells Lexus with leather seats that is like, I don't know, 2008 or 2010 or 2012 or something, they don't give a shit. They don't even know about it. It's not even on their radar. So so it doesn't influence on the trends of the market. So for that reason, it's not an excuse. It's a fact. You can go research it. I worked for a car dealer, but yeah. So for that reason, you know, I just don't consume them. It's just pointless. Like I said, it's a crime. It's a crime in your heart. It's a crime in your soul. You know it, and that's why a lot of times you lash out at us who remind you of that, because you carry that guilt within you, and it's like you just can't get rid of it, and it's good that it's that way. That's why most of the times, you know, we're being attacked for like, oh, why are you promoting this? This is so gay. This is so stupid. Like, you know, we come up with this. I'm the most bothered by this. You know, it's gay. You know, it's like there's so many things in life now that bullies came up and said that's so gay. You know, and you actually help. When you say that, and you're so against, you know, actual gays, you help them. You know that, right? Because when you're attacking everybody and throwing this word gay at everybody, then us, who have nothing to do with being, you know, being sexually oriented as like gays, you know, it's stupid. Because then you're just throwing it back and forth, left and right, and then you actually make